I've known Mark for over 30 years. I was there before he started Gold Creek and right as he started Gold Creek. And I've kind of watched him throughout the years, the success that he's had. And I think Mark is one of those people who is very innovative. He's very creative, someone who, just really has a goal, and he doesn't quit until he reaches that goal.
And one day I can remember, this was maybe 6 months after we started up, that I was with Mark and we were driving down the road in Dawsonville, and we pulled up to this building that's right on the outskirts of Dawsonville, and it was a big building, but it had a for sale sign in front of it. And we walked up to it, and Mark said he had already bought that building. And I said, well, how are you going to pay for it, Mark? I'm his accountant. That's what I should ask, right? And he said, I don't know. I'll worry about that later.
One of my earliest memories I have of my dad as a child is we were walking this old abandoned mill factory that my grandmother actually worked at in the 1960s, but it had been abandoned for decades, run down. A lot of people would have considered it a relic of the past, but my dad saw in it what no one else would see. He saw a treasure that was just waiting to be explored. He transformed the space that no one else could see had any value into our very first processing plant that helped build our current company.
Well, I've got to know Mark pretty well over the last 7 or 8 years, and there's so many things I admire about him as a leader. So many things you could talk about that have helped him be successful, I believe. And one thing Mark does that I think is amazing, he is just so open-minded. Years ago, he told me that one of the reasons he started Gold Creek was that he wanted to create a place where everybody's opinions were valued and welcome, and everyone had a seat at the table. And one of the core values he has at Gold Creek is collaboration, and he truly lives that value.
The things he worried about as a kid, you wouldn't think is so important until you actually become a father and you have a wife and you have a family and you have people that count on you. And that's where he really shined as a father. I mean, he had so much duality. He was a husband, a father, a coach, a leader. Whether it was a team of 5 or 3,000, he was able to lead us in ways and directions we never thought we'd be able to go.
Another thing that I admire about Mark is that he has this great balance of confidence and humility. When you meet Mark, he's very confident. He's very sure of where he's trying to go, but he's humble enough to know that he doesn't know everything, and he's been able to surround himself with leaders that are incredible and in many ways way smarter than he is in their area of specialization. And he doesn't see that it decreases his ability to present himself as the leader of Gold Creek. And of course it doesn't. It makes him look even stronger as a leader.
So we had our small office here in downtown Gainesville, and I can remember that Mark and I would go out behind the building in the alleyway and talk about business. And this was in 2003, and he told me that he had the vision, the dream of one day cooking chicken. And I said, well, why don't we go ahead and do that now? Because he said we can make more money by doing it. And he said, well, Craig, it costs millions of dollars to do that. And so 15 years later, we actually started cooking chicken here in Gainesville.
Mark and I were in a truck one time on about a 3-hour ride, and I was trying to gauge Mark on what he wanted to do with the company. Did he want me to come in and help him build a fully cooked plant so he could sell the whole company? Or did he want to ask me to come on board and build something that would be long-lasting for him? And when I asked him if he was hiring me to build something for him to sell the company, he snapped his head as hard as he could at me, and it was no immediately. Mark cares about Gold Creek, the Gold Creek family. Everyone that he surrounds himself with, he has a deep care.
But when I think about Mark and the growth of our company, I think about exceptional leadership. It makes me think back to 2019, a year after that first line had gotten started. Things were running well. We had our first fully cooked line running. The raw business was doing well. And then we get a phone call from our largest co-packer saying that they had lost an account. So they pulled that business away, and it sent our company into a bit of a tailspin. We were losing a significant amount of money every week. And in Gold Creek's history, we had bad weeks before and even bad months before, but nothing like what we were going through at this point. And it was Mark's exceptional leadership that kind of guided us through that. And he kept a positive attitude as we were going through that. And I remember the first time he told me that 2019 is going to be the best year in our company's history. And I'm thinking we're watching two different movies, because I didn't see it that way. I was genuinely concerned for what was going to happen to our company. And every day he was saying 2019 is going to be the best year in our company's history. Then he would write it down and show me, to the point that I started believing. I started saying those things. And as time went on, we did turn the ship around. And
I really don't think Mark Sosebee will be ever finished. I think he'll always be striving to improve himself and create opportunities for those around.
When he started Gold Creek, it was very important for him to allow people the opportunity for a seat at the table, for their voice to be heard. And he lives that. It doesn't matter if you're male or you're female, you're Ivy League educated or you're high school educated. He has a unique ability to see people's gifts and their talents, and he puts them in the right spot, and then he empowers and encourages people to live in those gifts. And like I said, what he's done at Gold Creek is impressive over the last 25 years, but he's just getting started. So I'm looking forward to the next 20.
Our father would always quote a passage from the Bible, from Isaiah, about how the father plants the seed so the children can enjoy the shade of the tree, even though the father may never get to enjoy the shade himself. He does it for his children, and that's what our father has done for us.
And that makes me think about how I'm about to have a son of my own very soon, and all the sacrifices that he's done for us, I hope to do for my son as well. And, you know, we're so blessed to have him in our lives, and like, we couldn't imagine our lives without him.
The impact that Gold Creek has in our community, in Northeast Georgia, and really around the state of Georgia now, is incredible. And so it's no surprise to me that Mark Sosebee is being selected into the Business Hall of Fame, because he truly is a world-class entrepreneur right here in our community.
Mark, congratulations on this award. North Georgia, the Gainesville community, the whole state of Georgia, and the poultry industry are all a better place because of the impact that you've had.
Mark Sosebee is a laureate in the JA Northeast Georgia Business Hall of Fame.